All right, everyone. It just turned 2:15 at the Army Residence Community. So welcome. Glad you're here with us today for the in-service. You probably already have, but I want to make sure everybody's signed in and you get credit for the in-service and you get a ticket for the drawings. And also, please put your cell phones on silent or vibrate, please, as we get started. So we're going to have an in-service today on personal protective equipment, and it's, different in each department, so it's just kind of listen up to your department and how that affects you so that we can all stay safe for ourselves and each other. And then we'll have some announcements and some success stories and door prizes when we finish the in-service part. So James DeBourge is going to do the first part, and then Enrique De Luna is going to cover a little more specific about healthcare. All right, so I know you're excited. I can see everybody's smiling faces. And so, Big James, come on down. Lead us off. Don't forget the office PPE for skin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, sir. I got to remember that. Notable mentions, right? Administrative people. Can everybody hear me? Okay, I'll try to keep close to my mouth. All right, it's that time again. It's... like I said, I teach 2 classes a year, fire safety and personal protective equipment, okay? Again, I'll do my portion, and then towards the end, I'll have Enrique come in. He's the ADON, the Assistant Director of Nursing and Healthcare. He'll do his portion. He's got a great class after that. I saw it. He's a spectacular trainer, and he'll teach you guys a thing or two in healthcare, okay? All right. Let me get my clicker. I need my clicker, I like that laser on here. See that? If you guys are asleep, I just point it in your eye. Wake you up a little bit. All right, so PPE. What is PPE? PPE minimizes exposure to workplace hazards. Okay, examples are gloves, safety glasses, goggles, face shields, aprons, and non-slip shoes. Now, those are some of the things that you can utilize for PPE, okay? All right, let's talk about some incidents and documented cases for things that have happened in the past, OSHA, or anything related to a job site. This one happened in 2019. It's a restaurant kitchen burn. Okay, the date of the incident is March 21st, 2019. It's a full-service restaurant. The Quarry Kitchen could be in San Antonio. Who knows? Okay, so what happened? The kitchen employee was emptying a hot cooking grease from a deep fryer into a 5-gallon pot. While carrying a pot across the kitchen, about 15 feet, he tripped on an improperly placed anti-slip mat. Okay, you know what those are? They're like an inch thick, and they really are hazardous. You really have to watch out for them. I mean, they work, but they do have that lip that could potentially trip on. Okay. The pot tipped and hot grease splashed into his arms and face, okay? So he suffered injuries. The worker suffered first, second, and third degree burns to his arms and face and was hospitalized for treatment, which includes wound care, okay? So if you look here, okay, we don't want this happening to anybody in the kitchen, or anywhere else, really, even at home. So I mean, really, he should have had proper PPE on, non-slip shoes, probably some gloves, maybe an apron, face shield, and things like that. So, if you look at the second-degree burns, third is even worse here. But if you look here, it says pre-required PPE, gloves, long sleeve, face shields. I mean, these things should be readily available in your department. Okay, if it's not, maybe you should talk to your manager or your supervisor. Okay. Again, wound care. All right, so another incident happened in 2015. Shirley Cookie L. Brown, okay, slipped on a liquid substance, okay, later identified as a spilled beverage while shopping at Costco. Who goes to Costco? I love Costco, yeah, all right. In Louisiana, okay. The spill was in a main aisle of the store. So what happened, Ms. Brown slipped on a puddle that had not been cleaned up, okay? The footage showed the spill had been on the floor for several minutes before the fall, okay? Store employee had inspected the area shortly before the incident but did not notice the spill, okay? So she slipped, she fell. So Ms. Brown suffered a fractured hip, okay? Now she has mobility issues and she has ongoing pain, okay? So how does that translate to the ARC? We have what? We have residents, right? Compromised residents, okay? So what's the average age of people at the ARC? In the 80s, correct, sir? Yeah, so in the 80s, so average age. So if you fall, it takes a little bit for them to fall. It can be on carpet, anywhere. They could break a hip just like that, you know what I mean? So, and not necessarily that, I mean, like for employees only, also, you know, it's very, very important that we have certain things, you know, that in place, like non-slip shoes, and just be aware of your surroundings, you know? Okay, this is Miss Brown. Actually, this is not Miss Brown. I don't know who that is, but, you know, I kind of pulled this out the internet. But, yeah, that's what a fractured hip looks like, okay? Just like that. It'll heal. But can you imagine the pain? You know, she's elderly also, so it's definitely an issue, you know. So just be mindful. So if you see a spill, what do we do? Clean it up or report it, right? Correct? Because if you don't have the means to clean it up, report it. What else could you do? Find those wet floor signs, right? Signage is good. Very good. I like this class better. The class before, they was all like, you know, complacent. I think they just ate. We're trying to. They got that Z monster on their back. All right. Oops. Okay. An eye injury. Okay. In 2020, an employee at a metal finishing manufacturing facility suffered a severe chemical burn to the eye while cleaning industrial equipment. The work was using a highly corrosive cleaning solution containing sodium chloride. Okay, so what happened? The employee was not wearing the required chemical goggles, okay? So while transferring the clean solution, the liquid splashed into his eye, okay? And of course, you know what happened? Hydrochloride is it's a solution that'll burn. It's like an acid, okay? Pretty much an acid. So there was an eye wash station present, but he did not go to the eye wash and immediately flush it out. So if you get something in your eye and you feel a slight tingling or burning, even if you're not sure, okay, please go ahead and just get to an eye wash station and flush out your eyes, all right? So emergency medical treatment was delayed. That was another thing too. So we don't need to be delaying emergency treatment when it comes to your eyes, because you know what? I don't know about you, but you know, I like my eyes. You know what I mean? You know, and you don't want to be blind. That's what you don't want to do. So what happened? He had severe chemical burn to his cornea, partial vision loss, and the affected eye, and then required hospitalization, ongoing ophthalmologic treatment. Okay, I can't say that word, you know, because I'm Asian. That's why. All right. Okay. So like I said, we can't find an eye wash station, right? There's some in healthcare. There's one on the second floor, and there's also a couple at Lakeside, right? Lakeside? Plenty over there, right? So if they're not operational, let us know. But if you can't find one right away, go to like a nearest sink or nearest restroom, okay? And then essentially just flush your eye out, okay? But make sure you flush your eye with the infected eye or the injured eye at the bottom, not at the top. So what happens when you try to flush the top side? You're like this, and then what's going to happen? Yeah, then you'll be walking around here like a zombie. Like, hey, I'm blind in both eyes now, you know? So we don't want that, okay? So you know what this guy looks like now? You guys want to see? Terrible. All right. No, all jokes aside anyways, but just be safe, stay safe, you know. Wear your PPE so you don't look like this guy right here, okay? Just letting you know. Hold on. Getting a call. All right. Okay, dining surfaces, common hazards, okay, are what? Hot surfaces, sharp objects, slippery floors, chemical cleaners, okay? So typically, PPE includes what for those areas? Gloves, okay, heat and cut resistance aprons, hair restraints, and non-slip footwear. Look at all these things. James is single, ladies, you know what I'm saying? Okay, all right. All right, facilities maintenance, are we here? There they are in the corner over there hiding. All right, common hazards for maintenance, okay, electrical exposure, okay, flying and falling debris, chemical exposure, loud noise, sharp object, those are just the common things. It includes safety glasses, work gloves, steel-toe boots. Dang, I used to spell pretty well. Oh my God, I found a typo. And my college degree is not worth anything. Jesus Christ. All right. All right, hard hats and hearing protection, okay? All right. Housekeeping. Are we here? All right. I love my housekeeping folks, okay? All right, so common hazard for housekeeping: chemical disinfectants, biohazards, slips and trips, dust, and contaminants, okay? Typically, the PPE includes disposable gloves, mask, eye protection, aprons, and non-slip wear. Anybody here? I love this pose, and I love that pose. She's really happy. What's her name? I know, yeah, I love her. She's great. All right, so like I said, I told you what's utilized in housekeeping, okay? All right, so the process is, okay, so if you don't know how to use your PPE, always think about your approach, think about your process, okay? So you assess the task at hand. So what is your mission? What are you actually doing, okay? So once you know what you're doing, you kind of have to go in there and say, all right, so well, I got to clean this toilet, okay? You know what I mean? So all right, it may be simple, but what's your exposure? Biohazard, right? Biohazard. So you got to wear then from there you kind of think about, okay, so what do I wear? Do I need a mask? Do I need gloves? So these are the things in that aspect that you need to utilize and kind of think about what you will utilize for PPE. So again, just think about these things. Assess the task at hand. What is your task? What is the exposure? And what PPE is required, okay? All right, so just real quick, we got eye protection. Again, 60% of workers who suffered injuries were not wearing eye protection, okay? So you have your face shield, your goggles, and your spectacles, okay? Flying particles, liquid chemicals, gases or vapors, and potential hazards. All right, hand protection, latex gloves, chemicals, detergents, alcohols, biohazards, leather gloves are for sparks, heat impacts, chips, and rough objects, okay? Again, these apply to your specific departments, synthetic gloves, foot protection, All right, most people here wear what? Non-slip shoes, I guess dining and housekeeping, you're required to have non-slip shoes. What about healthcare? You guys required? Okay, good, all right. And maintenance, what do we require? Manly boots, right? That's what we wear. Okay, anyways, my guys are just sad today. They're sad. Okay. All right, head protection, again, there's going to be areas where there's construction around the community. As a matter of fact, we have the healthcare campus development plan should be coming in a few years from now, maybe 3 to 5 years, who knows, if you're still around. If you come across a construction area, make sure you have your hard hats. It's a requirement for those areas that if you are doing a job or some type of work that could put you at risk for like falling debris, you should have a hard hat on, you know what I mean? So if you're in the kitchen, cooking up some eggs, some omelets, you feel like something's going to fall on you, put the hard hat on. That's a joke. Hearing protection, this is self-explanatory. OSHA and estimates that 30 million workers are exposed to hazardous noise, okay? Repeated exposures can lead to permanent tinnitus and hearing loss. I was in the military for over 20 years. I can't hear. I lost my 8,000 range. So if I'm going to this thing, huh? What? Because of my hearing, okay? Not because I'm ignoring you. What? Okay. Respiratory protection, again, and Enrique can talk about it a little bit more later, especially when you start donning protective equipment. Again, these are things for painters. Nicho, Edward, you guys utilize this when you guys paint, so these are big things to protect your lungs. Almost done, everybody. All right. So real quick, summary, be already surrounded, assess your task, wear your PPE. Most of all, who's a safety officer? Everyone, right? Everyone here. Okay. Thank you for your time. I'll be followed by Enrique.
Thank you. Thank you, James. Thank you. Okay, well, unlike other departments in healthcare, we also have what we call all at the same time personal protective equipment. Where do we go? We do have instances where we have someone in isolation or an enhanced barrier precautions. So healthcare, we're going to make sure that if you go into a room that it says at the outside of the door, contact precautions, to observe contact precautions. You have a little caddy outside with the personal protective equipment that you should be wearing. Now, the level of what you're going to need, it's going to be perhaps you're going to ask the nurse, hey nurse, what do I need to wear when I go into that room? I may need only gloves, gown, gloves, a mask, or you can also need to be using a shield, but a face shield as well. So always ask the nurse that will tell you how to get in there. And then you all have another one that says enhanced barrier precautions. Another sign that is that if you go into that room, we're protecting the residents from ourselves. We're protecting the residents from ourselves because we may be getting the resident or contaminating the resident with a germ that they don't need. Okay, so for this, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate. I want to have 2 volunteers here. I want to have the 2 volunteers, and remember, healthcare. My 2 volunteers are here ready. So we'll say this. This particular resident, you'll see that you have the sign of a resident that's in contact precaution. That's isolation. That means that this resident is in isolation. So therefore, just gonna see, making sure that I will ask the nurse, well, nurse, what am I gonna wear when I go there? And it applies to some of you that you may like say, well, I'm not a nursing, I don't have to go there. But still, if by any chance you go there, either an assisted living that you have, because that applies to as well, to assisted living residents that might be in isolation, or enhanced barrier precautions as well. So then we need to know this. So in here, contact precautions. In this instance, you will see a caddy outside the room with your personal protective equipment. That should be with gowns, gloves, face shields, mask, booties sometimes to protect your shoe wear. Maybe a hairnet too as well, a kind of a surgical hairnet. At times, it depends, once again, what is the type of exposure that you will have for that room, going into that room. And on this other one, you will have the sign out of the room, of course, but the caddy with the personal protective equipment is not going to be outside. It's going to be in the restroom. You have that in there. You have a good supply of gowns for you to put on. And what do we need to do first before we put any equipment? What do we need to do? Wash your hands. Very good. Everybody knows that. But wash your hands. You got to sanitize your hands. So they're going to sanitize their hands before they wear their personal protective equipment. And you see that. Enhanced barrier precautions and isolation itself. So he's going to a room that is in isolation. We're gonna do this in order. It's always an order for things. It's important to know that, so that way we don't cross-contaminate. There is several ways that you can put on your personal protective equipment, but this is a way that we actually adopt for us in healthcare to make sure that we do it consistently. So we know that you do it consistently, you do it the same, so everybody does the same when they're asked. Okay. So first, they sanitize their hands. And now, what do you think goes next? How many say gown? Raise your hands. Gown? Gown. Okay, very good. Yes. Gown goes on first. After you sanitize. And on this type of gowns, we also have a feature. They have a hole for your thumb. So you got to put that thumb through that hole. And I'll show you why. What's the purpose of it? Okay, that's good. That's good. It's alive. It's alive. Very good. You see that? You see the thumbs going through the hole, and that's what it's supposed to be. Those are there for. That's the reason. So go ahead and tie your ties. Going to make sure this is the only time that if you are outside the room, you can ask for help to tie the tie on the back. The back is always clean. You having trouble? Okay. Well, can I? Yeah, you got it. You got it. Good, good. Very good. So, what else do you think goes next? Mask. Mask goes first. Okay. There are two types of mask. One, our surgical mask. We have a surgical mask over here, or a N95 mask. You know, everybody loves this one. You remember this? Nightmares on it? Anybody have nightmares on it? Yes, I do. I do. My nose too as well. Got the form. Anyway, so we're gonna have we're gonna have that. Now, that's the person that goes into a resident that is an enhanced repercussions should wear a mask. It's a requirement to wear a mask. Isolation, everything, enhanced repercussion. No, you don't. No, you do not need to wear a mask unless, of course, you are going to be dealing with splashes of blood or whatever that is going to splash on you. Yeah, you may want to protect your face, but for this purpose of going into there is not required to wear. He's not required to wear a mask. Okay. So now, what else goes in there? No, one more thing for the infection, for the isolation. Shield. The shield. Yes, we do have a shield there because to protect himself from splashes. Moreover, if we're dealing with a resident that has COVID-19, that's a very good example of that. Okay, does the other person needs a shield? No. Okay, so what else we have left? Gloves, yes, we have gloves. And I left mine, I left yours in my office. And remember that there are several types of gloves. There is the vinyl ones, there are nitrolite gloves. It depends on the nitrolites are usually if you are allergic to latex or the vinyl. Then you have the nitrolites. Okay. What will you do if it breaks? Throw it away and get the new ones. Yes, that's good. On this one, because he's going to a resident that is in isolation, he needs to wear all this gear before they go inside the room. So he wears it outside the room, and then he's ready to go in to care for a resident. Now, if they are going to say, let's say, for example, I'm going to say hi to a resident that is in isolation, should I wear all this? Yes, at all times. If I am going to care for a resident that has an enhanced repercussions, should I wear this protection if I'm just going to say hi? No, because remember that it's only that you use personal protective equipment for a resident that has enhanced precautions if you are going to care directly to them. You are going to change the brief. You are going to take them to the bathroom. You are going to exercise them. You are going to empty catheters. You are going to feed them. 2 feedings. That's where you will need to wear this personal protective equipment, the gear. Okay. So now you're done. But you went into the room. They are done. Now we are going to take it off or doff it. Doff. When we put it on, it's donning, and taking off is doffing. So we're going to doff our personal protective equipment. Now, what goes in last will come off first. What did it come out? Would it go? What did it go? What? Gloves. Very good. So the gloves go off first. Remember the thumb from here? You gotta put from the out. And you see how it went. This in here, when they had the hole that went into the thumb, how it went into protecting the wrist. You know, the gown did, yes. Okay. Now, what else goes off then? The shield. Now, you gotta make sure you will touch only the ties, not the front of the shield, because that's contaminated. So you will take it off using the bands. And what else? Mask. And you will touch only the ties because the ties are clean. Now you're going to dispose of those. And then now for both of them, what else? The gown. Do you touch it from the front? Always the back. The back is always clean. So you will go ahead and start from the back. Inside, the roller inside out. Yeah. I used to say roll it or sandwich it. Same thing. You sandwich it, but that's good. Yes, my head works that way. And then put it in the trash. Now, in case the personal protective equipment or they were exposed to body fluids, they will put it in a biohazardous waste red bag. And if not, it's just going to go into the regular trash. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. Do you have any questions? Any questions that you need to answer? I need to answer. No? No questions? So the difference between the departments, this is a healthcare department, and then healthcare, we need to make sure that we protect ourselves from something that we don't see, that we cannot see. We have to have a microscope to see the germs, the microbes, things that are in the blood and body fluids. Yes.
Are you supposed to put any booties on your shoes when you go in?
There is sometimes that we're required to wear booties or shoe protectors, shoe wear protectors. Yes, there is an instance that if we're taking care of residents that are incontinent, that maybe splashes on the floor, that your shoes are going to get contaminated. So yes, it's appropriate to do that. So that'll be, once again, the nurse will let you know what you need to wear when you go there into those rooms. Yes, definitely. Any other question? Raise your hand, Jerome.
So I just want to add that after that downing, removing all the doffing, of course, don't forget to wash your hands. Don't forget to wash your hands. Yes. Thank you.
Definitely. Remember all the time, wash your hands.
I have a question, like if the family members there on where they have to wear all the gown and not what he was wearing. No, you. Okay, so does the family have to dress like that too? Of course, right? This applies if a residence in isolation does apply to anybody that goes into the room. It applies to you in case of another department goes into a resident room that is in isolation. It applies to visitors. It applies to family members. So it is important to let them know that before they go. Please, can you please follow the instructions, and please ask the nurse what you need to put on before you go into that room. Protecting everybody, protecting ourselves and others, important too. Okay. Okay. Any other question? No. Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Another round for Enrique and our two volunteers, Robert and Jerome. Thank you. You know, also I was going to mention, where's Corey at in housekeeping, our director? Corey, I saw him earlier. Corey, he was here, he must have stepped out. Anyway, I know he just went through his entire department and all the chemicals we use, they have safety data sheets that talk about the chemical and what you should wear. So I know he just went through his whole department and arms everybody with the right kind of PPE, based on what we're dealing with, whether it's people and bodily fluids or chemicals. But how about those hospital gowns, right? Who designed those, right? They're all open in the back, and it's a joke. It's a joke. I mean, couldn't they have designed a better gown? Come on. All right. Let's start with some announcements. Anybody that's a new hire in the last 30 days that just joined us, please stand up. Any new hires? We had about 4 earlier at 1 o'clock. All right. Excellent. Thanks for joining us. We're our growing family, so thank you. Welcome. We're glad you're with us. We're going to hit on a few. I see one over here too. Good. Yeah. Anybody that achieved a 10-year plus anniversary date in February. And we're going to start with Joe Garcia in facilities, 10 years. Big Joe, stand up. You're in here. Stand up. We can recognize you. 10 years. Thank you. We saw Sylvia Perez earlier from the beauty salon. She hit 10 years in February. Bernice Osai in healthcare, 12 years. Is Bernice in here? 12 years. All right. Congrats. We also have Henry Astorga in security. Henry hit the big 12 also. Congrats. Clementina Sandoval in housekeeping, 15 years. 15. All right. We'll see you at the big milestone ones coming up. Patricia Gonzalez, 28 years in housekeeping. Patricia, in here? I don't think I'm. All right, and not least, but at 1 o'clock we saw Samorin Smith, 39 years as of the 16th of February. And I was telling them earlier, the ARC opened in January of 1987, so she was like one of the first employees. And next year we'll be celebrating our 40th anniversary at the ARC. So anyway, it's just cool to have somebody that's been with us pretty much since the doors open. That's incredible. All right, at 1 o'clock we also celebrated Carrie Mendez, our fitness trainer. She's not in here. She was in here at 1. But she got accepted into a master's in public health and education at Texas State University. So when you see Carrie, give her some kudos for that. I think she'll be starting this fall. And we also, Ethan Martinez. You in here, Ethan? Ethan. All right, there you are. He just got promoted. Stand up, man. Promoted into IT, information technology from security. So congratulations. We celebrate you. All right. Also, talking about our growing family, the residents met today, and this has been a process we've been working on, our eligibility restrictions, okay? You have to be a veteran or a federal employee to live at the ARC, and we've been working, trying to expand our eligibility to where we can serve anybody in San Antonio as long as they meet the medical and the financial requirements, okay? So the residents voted this morning. It's been a pretty long process and a lot of education. So they voted about almost 70% to open it up. And so now our board of directors is going to look at that and they're going to vote. So there's a really strong chance that we could open up eligibility to anyone in the San Antonio market, which really means we'll be extremely successful, higher occupancy rates, more people to serve. So it's really going to be beneficial to us. And it's just really looking forward to growing our family and those we serve, and this gives us a lot more options. So keep that in mind. As soon as we know, we'll be putting that out, but it's really, really an exciting time, and will just make us stronger. So now, last month we announced the very first Alita Longoria Spirit Award, and we know Alex Martinez won that. And so this month, February, it's our second winner. So somebody give me a big drum roll. Drum roll. It is Enrique De Luna, our Assistant Director of Nurses and Healthcare. Hoorah. So we took the picture, we had the certificate, and it's all that spending money he got and the recognition. But we really want to recognize and celebrate Enrique for the kind of spirit, the values, the customer service. He does all kind of things behind the scenes you don't even see and know. We do CPR training. We've trained people for the Heimlich maneuver. And there's been 3 residents, we saved their lives in the dining room because they knew how to do that Heimlich maneuver. So it's just one of many attributes. So congratulations, Enrique. and keep being such a great mentor and teacher, okay? We really appreciate it very much. All right, as we wind down, the Kiwanis Club will be having their big Monte Carlo celebration. It's spring break week. I think it's the 12th of March. But last year they gave out about $45,000 in scholarships to ARC employees and ARC dependents, all right? And this is their only fundraiser they do throughout the year. So if you're able to buy a ticket, they're not very expensive, or donate money, go to the event, you get kind of play money to gamble with, and then whatever you win, you get prizes. But it's really a fun event, and it raises money for all of our employees and again, their dependents. So if you can, again, that'll be on March 12th, and there's signage everywhere. But we like to support that because, again, they give out scholarships. I think since I've been here in 8 years, about 400 scholarships that they've given out. So it's pretty incredible. And I think with that, we're going to roll into our drawings.
Hi, everyone. I just have one announcement. March the 6th is National Employee Appreciation Day. We know that ARC has the best employees, right? March the 6th. So we're bringing the massage chairs back. Yay! They'll be in the healthcare entrance from 7:30 to 3:30, and then we'll have a lot of good snacks for you all. So make sure to stop by. Thank you.
All right. We're winding down February. Make it a great rest of the day, okay? Enjoy. Thank you for being here. Keep on keeping on. St. Patty Day coming up. Mardi Gras. Spring. What'd you lose? Oh, I saw you take that off.